Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eric Kuclane, and I'm an English secondary education major here at Towson University. Today I'll be introducing the sixth tenet of digital citizenship. Just to briefly go over what digital citizenship means as a whole. Digital citizenship can be defined as the norms of appropriate responsible behavior with regard to technology use. This source right here lists all 9 tenets. Most specifically, we'll be covering digital law. Just to expand upon the definition a little bit more, digital law deals with the ethics of technology within society. Unethical use manifests itself in form of theft and/or crime. There are certain rules of society that users need to be aware of. These laws apply to anyone who works or plays online. Hacking into others' information, downloading illegal music, plagiarizing, creating destructive worms, viruses, Trojan horses, spam, or stealing anyone's identity or property online is considered unethical. Above all, users need to understand that stealing or causing damage to other people's work, identity, or property online is a crime. For educational purposes, students need to understand the laws and repercussions of breaking digital law. They need to know what fair use means, and they need to be able to master appropriate use of online sources. For teachers, their responsibility is to guide students and abide by the process of digital law. They need to ask themselves, do my students know how to cite? Do my students know the repercussions if they do not cite material? And they need to ask themselves, am I using material properly and citing all of my information to set an example? The overall impact of this sixth tenet, digital law, protects the rights of people who publish their content on the internet. Following digital law not only stops students from making criminal actions, but also protects their digital property as well as others. Creating an ethical understanding of other people's intellectual property will guide students and with that, respect other people's work in the process. I've included a few activities on this page for educators to create for their students. In doing so, students will actually have the chance to gain knowledge and practice their expertise of citing online sources. The first one is going over how to cite. Teachers can share resources online such as EasyBib and BibMe, which are 2 websites that essentially you can copy and paste your sources into, and they'll provide a citation for the sources. I've also included here the Purdue OWL, which frankly I use more often. These are going to be more up to date. Included right here. This is the Purdue OWL. Given that the Modern Language Association, which is essentially the guidelines for standard English use and formatting, they change frequently. And the only drawback to EasyBib and BibMe is that they're not always very up to date with the updated MLA or APA formats. So this source, essentially Purdue OWL, guides students on the most critical up-to-date features of the MLA. And looking through this, we can see here a lot of different details, but most importantly, the takeaway with the Purdue OWL is that they're the most up-to-date on digital law. Another activity for teachers to do is giving students example articles, journals, novels, and having them practice citing in a specific format. Most commonly, especially in high school or middle school, the secondary education context, students will be using MLA. In some cases, APA, especially once we get past that grade school level into upper level education. A lot of college classes, for example, science, psychology even, they'll frequently use APA. And it's nice because not only does the Purdue OWL provide MLA formatting, but APA as well. Another activity for educators to start with their students is giving scenarios, such as a person downloading music and asking if it follows digital law. Asking in the process of students learning this material serves as a formative assessment. And lastly, going over the repercussions of stealing digital information, such as expulsion, fines, jail time, can serve as a almost like a reminder of what can happen to students if they don't abide by this sixth tenet of digital citizenship. I've included here an example from my professor, Dr. Lisa Twiss at Towson University, in which in her syllabus she outlines the high standards of ethical conduct and academic integrity. Cheating and plagiarism are unacceptable and result in a score of 0 for the work. This, in effect, goes over the repercussions of stealing digital information, which I've just talked about. Lastly, I just wanted to touch upon in Oler's article, which goes over the actual guidelines for being an ethical digital citizenship student. Many teachers, he said, should be ethical coaches that help students navigate many of the ethically charged issues of a digital lifestyle. In effect, this goes over and goes hand in hand with digital law, because to abide by digital law is to be digitally ethical. Thank you for watching, and hope you gained a lot of information on this tenet, because digital law is something that applies to every student. It's their right and responsibility to protect their property as well as others.